Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome here. This is your host, Ma'awi Taka. And today we're going to continue on our series, Prophetic Chronicles, where we discuss and explore the lives of the Prophets, alayhi salam, beginning from Adam, alayhi salam, all the way to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So we've covered in the previous two episodes the story of Musa. And as we know, Musa are from the descendants of Yaqub, i.e. Israel. And this is kind of the part of the story of the prophets where we focus on the prophets and the messengers of Bani Israel. As you know, we had many prophets before Ibrahim, but essentially now we're focusing on those that came from the children of Israel before we move on to the final prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was from the descendants of Ismail. So we're dealing with the descendants of Ishaq. We're going to finalize on the story of Ismail. So Allah chose Musa alayhi salam. He saved his life from when Fir'aun was killing the children of Israel, or the sons of Israel. Allah placed him in the house of Fir'aun, raised him in the house of Fir'aun. Eventually we had the incident where Musa was tried and tested, and he had to leave in exile from Egypt, where he went to Midian. And when he got to Midian, Allah granted him and blessed him with a wife from an individual who was living in Midian, where he spent 10 years there working for him. And eventually he became a messenger of Allah from when he saw the burning bush. And we touched upon the importance of belief in Qadr and understanding that Allah is in control of all things and everything is in Allah's plan. But then now he was sent to Fir'aun, Musa and Harun, because Musa asked for his brother to join along with him. So we can understand from that at some point from the exile from Egypt, his brother came along with him. So at some point his brother came along with him, and his brother was also living in Midian. So as Musa returns back to Egypt, obviously now this is now a difficult time for Musa emotionally, because there's also that fear that they want him for a crime of murder. And obviously he knows he was innocent of any deliberate wrongdoing, but Allah has promised him he'll be saved and be protected. So he went towards Fir'aun and conducted the da'wah, the message that Allah wanted to deliver. He called Musa to the worship of Allah. Musa called Fir'aun to the worship of Allah and to Tawheed, as we've mentioned, all the prophets before did so. And in the first sitting, Musa came to him with soft speech, as Allah instructed him at the burning bush to go to Fir'aun بِقَوْلٍ لَيِّن, with a soft speech. Hopefully he will listen to the advice and take heed. So he went to him with kind, soft speech, although he was the evil Fir'aun. Listen carefully, everyone. When it comes to giving da'wah, when it comes to calling people to Islam, even if they are quote-unquote evil people or bad people, that's only their current state. We don't know their final state. And it's possible that Fir'aun could have believed if he just had humbleness and listened. So give him a chance to listen, but otherwise if he just doesn't listen, then whatever comes. So he went to him with nice, calm speech, calling to Allah, calling to the oneness of Allah, worshipping Allah alone. And Allah threw down his staff and showed him the changing of the staff from a stick to a snake, and the return of that snake back to being a staff. And Musa showed his hand, and his hand glowed. Why would Musa immediately come with the signs without even being asked for? Because unlike previous nations, if you look at previous nations, when the prophets went to their nations, they went to all of them, they were from them. Whereas Musa's going to a Fir'aun, a king, one who has dominance over the land. So it's a bit difficult to just go there and make demands. You don't normally go to someone of authority and just tell them do this. So he went to him with some signs, some evidence. But some of the advisors, people in the mala, in the congregation, you could say, of the Fir'aun, what did they say? إن هذان لساحران يريدان أن يخرجاكم من أرضكم بسحرهما. Verily, these two, Musa and Fir'aun, are magicians. They've come to kick you out of your homes with their magic. So they perceive that this is some kind of trick. This is some kind of trick trying to deceive us, make us, give up all our authority. And, if someone just saw a staff change to a snake, and you genuinely believe that that's not possible, then you think, okay, wait, there has to be some kind of trick. And at the time, they knew about magic, they knew about sorcery, and they had ways in which they could deceive people, maybe out of entertainment or something like that. But they knew about something like that could happen, so they accused them of being magicians. But Musa said, challenge them. Okay, if you think I'm a magician, then fair enough. Let's bring your magicians, bring your magicians, your sorcerers, and let's challenge. And make this challenge public. Why make it public, you say? Well, if you speak directly to Fir'aun and you bring him the evidence and convince him, he could deny it, but everyone else won't know the truth. Musa wants people to believe, wants people to come back to Tawheed and the oneness of Allah, not just Fir'aun, but everybody. So if he's able to demonstrate the truthfulness of his message upon everyone, that's now not only is that evidence upon everyone, not only is that da'wah to everyone else, but it's also pressure on Fir'aun, adding pressure onto Fir'aun. So they went out, they made an appointment to go out to the Maidan, they got to the open field, and everyone came along, they brought the animals, everyone brought their kids, their wives, their children, everyone came to see what's going to happen. This person's coming, they're challenging the Pharaoh. What's going to happen? So they said, so these magicians came, Fir'aun gave a reward, whoever's going to defeat him will give X amount of reward. So obviously everyone's going to come with all their magic. So when they came, they said, who's going to throw down first? Musa said, you throw first. So they threw down their staves and their ropes and they made it as if it was moving like a snake. They said, look, we do the same. Let's see your magic, see if it's any different. And Musa threw down his staff, and not only did his staff actually turn into a snake, it consumed their other staffs or their other tricks. It was at this point that the magicians who were there fell down in prostration and said, we believe in the Lord of Musa and Harun. Why did they do that? Because they know about magic. They know what magic is, and they know the tricks of the trade. And they recognize this was not magic. This was some kind of trickery or some kind of, hidden strings or something like that. This was generally real. So when they saw the truth manifest, they fell down in prostration. And this obviously angered Fir'aun. And he accused them of working with Musa. So you're all two conspiring and working together. You deliberately did this to show me up. You deliberately did this to expose me and make me embarrass me in front of everyone else. And he promised that he would crucify them and kill them. And they didn't waver in their iman, and they fully believed in Musa. So Musa defeated Fir'aun in the Maidan. And the thing is, it wasn't just them who believed. It was even said that that Fir'aun's wife also was a believer. Why would you think that? Because she raised him. She knows Musa. Obviously she loves him. She wanted to have her own child. She wasn't able to have her own child, and she took in Musa. So she knows Musa. She raised him, and we would assume, being a caring mother, she knows if he's lying or not. But she saw him, he showed the message, and she was a believer in Musa. Allah even spoke of a man, وَرَجُلٌ مِّنْ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ يَكْتُمُ إِيمَانَهُ. He mentioned a man from the family of Fir'aun who was hiding his belief, his iman in Musa. He said, أَتَقَتُلُونَ رَجُلًا أَن يَكُونَ رَبِّيَ اللَّهُ. Are you going to kill a man just because he says, my Lord is Allah? إِن يَكُ كَاذِبًا فَعَلَيْهِ كَذِبُهُ. Even if this man is lying, i.e. Musa, then his lie only harms himself. Doesn't harm. عليه كذبه. It's just something that only afflicts him, nothing else. But if he is truthful, then يُصِبُكُمْ بَعْضَ الَّذِي يَعِدُكُمْ, maybe some of what he's promising you will afflict you. This is what we call in the world of trading what's called an asynchronous trade, meaning the downside compared to the upside doesn't match. Meaning if Musa is wrong and you followed him, what really have you lost? You're still the Fir'aun, you still have authority of the land, you still own everything, you still control everything. So you haven't lost actually anything just by listening. Whereas if you didn't listen and he was truthful, then you've lost everything. You've lost your dominion, you've lost your authority, you've lost your reputation, you've lost everything. And on top of that, you are punished by what he promised to punish you with. Well, that's what's meant by asynchronous, as it's not the same. So he even said that you have dominion in the earth. Why risk it all? Why risk it? This shows that even people amongst Fir'aun who believed were trying to advise Fir'aun. It wasn't even just Musa. There were others amongst them who were believers who were trying to advise him. But obviously, seeing what happened to the magicians and how they got killed, now some of them want to hide their belief. They weren't able to come out of it publicly. But what did Fir'aun respond by saying? I only come to you with I'm only على سبيل الرشاد. I'm only calling to that which is correct. Because of his arrogance, he didn't even want to consider that maybe what he's upon is incorrect. His only response to that argument, which is a strong argument, is that no, I'm correct anyway. I call to that with the straight path. This was Fir'aun and his arrogance. So Musa, because he persisted to give him da'wah and he resisted, he advised him. He said that if you don't listen, Allah will send upon you punishment. I'll send upon him 5 signs that he is truthful. One of them was a flood. Obviously, Egypt is on next to the river of Nile, so obviously there's a massive water body that can easily flood their cities and towns. Also, they had locusts, they had head lice, they had frogs, and also the vessels of water became blood. There were so many things that was pointed towards Musa's truthfulness, but yet they refused to believe. Fir'aun refused to submit. But at this point here, just to remove this, it was said, if you remove these signs from us, these punishment from us, then we'll believe. Made it conditional. If you're truly a believer, you would believe. But they said, no, remove it, then I'll believe. So it was removed, but did they believe? Nope, they didn't believe. It's as similar to previous nations, when they said, if you do this, we'll believe, like what happened to Salih. If you bring us a sign, we'll believe. And when the camel came, did they believe? Nope. And this shows you a sign about this idea of testing. Show me this, and then I'll believe. You find this is more akin to arrogance and rejection rather than actual belief. Because if you believed, you'd believe. Just like Ibrahim, when he asked Allah to show him how he brings it back to life, Allah asked, is it because of doubt? He said, no. I believe. I just want to increase my iman. So Ibrahim never made it a condition of iman. He just wanted to increase in iman. But these guys, nope. They want to make it a condition. And it was removed, and they didn't believe. So Allah commanded Musa to take the children of Israel away from this situation, and Musa instructed the children of Israel to flee with them at night time. But as they were fleeing, as they had left, or they began to leave Egypt, Fir'aun, rather than just accept that they're leaving, just let them go, he persisted. SubhanAllah, if you think about it, if Fir'aun just let them go, he would continue his dominion. Yes, he would probably continue as a disbeliever, but nothing much would have happened beyond that. But we have arrogance. What do we have? Arrogance. Arrogance to the point where he said to Haman, build me a tall building so I can go and look at this Lord of this God of Musa. Arrogance. And arrogance leads to haughtiness. And haughtiness, well, I guess it's the same thing. And haughtiness leads to rejection. So as Musa was fleeing, Fir'aun decided to get his army and himself to go and battle and kill the children of Israel. So as Musa got to, you could say, the Red Sea, it now came to the point now where Fir'aun was coming. And everyone's worried, what's going to happen? So Allah instructed Musa to strike his staff, the asa, the one that became the stick, the snake, to strike it on the water. And when that happened, the Red Sea parted. If you can imagine that, subhanAllah, what a miracle that would be, to witness with your own eyes. The ocean part into two. Because before that, there was an ocean in front of them and an enemy behind. No escape. But Allah opened up for them faraj, an escape, and allowed them to traverse the Red Sea in safety. And look at the arrogance, look at the absolute arrogance of Fir'aun. That when seeing this, he still went to go and fight Musa. He entered into that Red Sea, or into the path, looking at the Red Sea was parted, rather than take this as a sign. Look, the God of Moses has parted the sea. No. He still was arrogant. He wanted Musa and the children of Israel to be dead. Arrogance. So when the children of Israel were freed or in safety on the other end, and Fir'aun was still amongst in the Red Sea, Allah calls it to close down upon Fir'aun, drowning Fir'aun and killing him in the process. The same Fir'aun who said to Musa when debating him, the rivers flow below my feet. Allah made the river flow, or the ocean flow, above him and caused him to die. And at this point, subhanAllah, look carefully, and at this point, as Fir'aun was drowning, at this point he decided to want to believe. He wants to say, I want to believe in the Lord of Musa. Now you're going to believe after everything has come before? Not at all. This indicates that the kufr of Fir'aun was there. It wasn't that he didn't acknowledge that Allah is real, but it was the same arrogance as Iblis. In our next episode, we will continue our discussion about the children of Israel and their lives after the Exodus and leaving of Egypt. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.